I'll welcome you guys back into my next course over here, which is how to be famous. And you should understand, guys, when you're famous in life, I promise you, you have to be inspirational. You have to understand that it's about being an inspiration today, and it's about giving your whole heart about everything that you're doing. Realize that whatever you're doing in life, you have to do it with your heart and make sure that you have less of an ego. Realize you have to have less of an ego as you're living life and progressing throughout life in a way that your ego is becoming less and less and less throughout time, because that way you're going to understand what freedom is. You're going to understand that in order for yourself to be in freedom and be something worthwhile in life, you have to be less egotistical. And to be more egotistical is to be like an Adolf Hitler. I never need you to go and do what Adolf Hitler done. I need you to understand to go and have less. I need you to have less of an ego, so you can be less like Adolf Hitler. So you understand that egotistical people go around killing people. I need you to understand that those people who have bad habits are the ones who are hanging around people of bad habits, and the ones who are really more positive are the ones who are hanging around more positive people. So you are the 5 people you surround yourself with on a daily basis. You have to understand that your life today is because of the 5 people that you surround yourself with, and those people feed you information, and your 5 people who are in your life the most have this sum and this big sum of knowledge that they gave you. So what you need to do is you need to disable myths, and you need to start realizing who those 5 people are, so that you understand who to surround yourself with next. I need you to understand that in order for yourself to really start somewhere with surrounding yourself with 5 people, is go where the millionaires are and make 5 millionaires sit with you all day. If you're surrounding yourself, and if you are with people who are not I realize if you're with people who are not millionaires yet, and if you are somebody who is not with millionaires yet, I need you to understand to go around those people, because that's the barrier. Many people find themselves in a crowd full of losers. Losers like people who cannot even make 50 grand a year. I realize, although that it's not about the money, I realize that it's really the mindset that works. I need you to understand the mindset of a millionaire and a billionaire is somebody who's made better habits. I need you to understand that there are people who today have a financial net worth of 1 millionaire. Realize that there are people today who have a financial net worth of 1 millionaire. I apologize, I said the same thing. Realize I'm not egotistical, I'm better than my negativity. Realize there are financial people who have made money in terms of the $1 million and are millionaires in terms of life. Realize, although, that when you stuff up in your communication, you just keep going because you never mean it. So make sure that you never blow a gasket, and make sure that you just go and never be negative either. Realize that I'm never negative, I'm just making sure that I keep positive, and I'm doing a bouncing check to make sure that whatever I do today is going to be much more in theory, so that I can also apply it, and also realize that it's really in the doing that I get all my knowledge. Realize that because I'm a person who is a divine being, I understand that when I surround myself with millionaires and billionaires in terms of financial net worth, I understand they have the business mindset I need, and they also have the better habits, and they have better time schedules, and they have better theories about life, where they have lived a certain amount of time and have more success in terms of attention with other people, and have more popularity, and have more of a life where they can care for a woman and can give her all this money, and they can have kids because they have all this money. And it's never the money that's going to make the kids. I realize it's the skills, and you have to understand that is what you need. You have to understand it's really the skills. So when you're reading from people, you read from the best, and the best people on the planet are the ones who are better than yesterday. So what makes me so foundational in what I say? I realize that it's just that I'm better than yesterday. I'm always better than yesterday. I'm always doing something that's much better than yesterday. I'm always doing something that's really going to help me move forward. I realize that's what helps me to do these videos for 1 hour every single day. I realize that I every single day do 3 hours of video. I don't try to do it, I do it. I make sure that every single day I'm always talking it up and living up to my potential. I realize I have to make sure that every single day I'm doing something for nothing. I have to make sure that every single day I'm giving some knowledge for nothing. I'm doing it for something. I'm doing it for something. I'm giving knowledge for something, although I expect nothing in return. I realize that's what's generous. I promise you, what's generous is start doing your work, and even when people are not watching. I realize that eventually people will get up to, and I realize that eventually people will catch up to you and will get up to you in terms of life and will start doing you more. I realize that is the whole point. You make people more likely to come and watch you at your public speaking performance and at your events, because you have knowledge and background around certain, or else you have knowledge and background around certain areas of life, where you also have to repeat information while you're speaking, and you repeat information in a way that you understand. You're going to say it in the best way. And what is the best way? I realize the best way is making sure that you're just doing it better than yesterday. I realize that I'm always doing my best. I realize Dean Graziosi has in his book, The Millionaire Success Habits, I realize one of his chapters is do your best. I realize that is the best ideal. I realize that when you're doing your best every day, you will find the strength you need to go and do your emotional work, which is your physicality and your physical health, and then also the spiritual health and emotional health. You'll also understand you need better communication skills. You need to understand that life coaching and self-development and self-education is the key that's going to help you to unlock all that power within you. And in order to do that, and in order for you to do that, you need to look inside for everything. You have to look inside for what you need. You have to understand what you need right now is to succeed more and to give more value. You need to give more value and to also be the best you can be in all areas of life. So to do that, you have to understand to be balanced every single day and to have a level mindset where you understand you're increasing one area of your life every single day. I realize that when you're increasing one area of your life, you are just increasing the person you are every single day, and you're just making sure that every single day you're going to have a better blueprint, and you're going to give more information today than ever before, and you're going to do better than yesterday. I mean, the whole point of a business is to make sure that what you're doing in terms of life is going to help you move forward. You have to understand that each and every single video I do relates to the next one, and to the next one, and to the next one. Why? Because it's life, and it's life coaching. I'm teaching you about all aspects of life at the same time. I realize that the more you watch one area of life, I realize the more it relates with other areas. I promise you that everything I've done until now has been a recommendation where you are going to be better than yesterday, because it works in terms of what I'm doing. I'm doing life for something greater, and that's how you must be. You must realize that in order to be famous, you don't be famous for the attention, you don't do it for the people, you do it for something greater, so you understand to be the best version of yourself. I realize that I still have so much time to go. I realize there's so much time to go and to live life. I realize that fame is now, and there's no future unless you live in the moment. And you should understand that your only life span must be to live in this moment. You must realize that your lifespan must be long. You must be driven. You must have this long perspective. You have to understand that in order for yourself to get fame, you need to be inspirational. You need to understand you need to always have a better mindset. You need to be physically developed. You have to look better than ever. You have to feel better than ever. You have to understand that your words are important, and you have to also give your whole heart into what you're saying and what you're doing. You have to give your whole heart into what you're doing and make sure that you overcome your demons and your bad habits and your poor habits. I don't know what they are, although make sure you understand your heart can do it. You push into the heart and you'll find a way. I promise you, where there's a will, I promise you there's a way. I understand I get tired also, although you understand that when I get tired, I make sure I fall asleep straight away. I just fall asleep. I understand that when you get tired, I promise you it's because you're exhausted. I promise you now, since I've done my music production, I realize that now I have around 4 things I can do right now. I can do a life coaching video, I can do some writing, I can do grooming and showering, or I can go and read something. I realize that the best thing I can do now is put my face into a video over all else, and I realize that time is going to go eventually, and this too shall pass, and everything that's, let's say, suddenly traumatizing in your life or miserable, you have to understand to record that. You have to record how you are, and you have to write it down. You have to write your misery down. You have to write what traumatized you. You have to write why it traumatizes you. You have to write how you're going to solve it. You have to write everything about your story. I promise you, that's the first step to becoming famous, because nobody is famous because they don't expose themselves. You have to understand that Jennifer Lopez, I promise you, she's in the spotlight. I promise you, many people are talking about her. I promise you, many people are talking about anybody who's famous because they're too much in front of people. And when you're too much in front of people, you will also be recognized. I promise you, as I was doing my street performance, I promise you my Instagram started to pick up, and it started to give me followers, and it started to give me more attention. I realized that these days, it's been 7 days now, although I understand that my Instagram and all that over time is going up. And I understand that it's more important that you understand that you never give the negative effects of anything. You just understand that you have to keep it up. You have to keep doing street performances. You have to keep doing your content one way or another. You can never stop. You can never stop doing you. I realize that my age is now. I realize that my age may be 28. I'm only number 1 in my life with Jesus. I realize that although I'm still greater than yesterday, I'm still performing in the best way. I realize that I'm better than yesterday in all areas of life. I'm giving you skills, and I'm recommending that you watch every single video that I've ever got in my life, so that I understand that you will be taken care of. Because what the deal is that you learn and grow. The only way that you can overcome your fears is to be something more worthwhile. You have to understand that you need to breathe. You need to relax. You need to enjoy yourself. You need to understand to be warm. You have to get yourself around warmer climates. I realize I'm in Darwin now. I realize it's winter in Australia. I realize in Sydney it's 13 degrees. I realize in Melbourne it's 11 degrees. I realize in Darwin right now, I realize it's 25 degrees. I realize it's twice as hot. I realize that's the point in difference. To prevent sickness and to feel greater and to feel warmer and to feel better. You have to get yourself around warmer climates. You have to understand that it's the only way to go. I promise you, I never need you in cold areas of life. I need you to go where it's warmer. I promise you, that's the better way. I promise you, the best aspect of your life is talk it up. Talk it up and live your talk. Every single day I do something, I have to do it around wisdom. I have to do it around coaching. I have to do it around making sure that my life is going to be great. I have to make sure that my life is going to be greater in every single aspect of life while I'm communicating something on a daily basis. So what I do is I communicate it on a video and I communicate it in my phone. I have a nice, beautiful technology where I have an application that's a note system, and I write down my journals. I write down what can I do now, and how can I overcome this moment, and how can I overcome this moment, and how can I overcome this moment. I get tired sometimes. I realize that although I've been up since 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's because I fell asleep at 7 p.m. and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I realize that I'm still awake, although I understand I can keep going. And here I am after 7 days of Darwin, investing and traveling around. I've done 6,000 photos and I've done some content. And here I am now for the first time in Darwin, doing my 2nd-hour video for the day. And it's really because Darwin is starting to die down, although I understand I can do some activities. I'm doing one activity every single day. I realized today my one activity is go to the casino here in Darwin, and there's a swimming pool there, and just swim. And my second activity, which is the next day, I realized that I only have one activity in terms of what I can do around Darwin, and any area of life where I may visit some area, I'll go and do one activity. I realized that tomorrow I can understand it's coming today, although I can go also do a tourist bus around Darwin, and I can also get myself a massage for the first time in Darwin, and I understand that it's been a long time since I had a massage, and I can go and do that one. I realize I can do that. I realize that is the whole point. You just go and do something you've never done. I've been to the crocodile farm. I have to go and brand myself around Brisbane. I've got so much work to do in terms of branding, and I have so much in terms of the street paint, where I can go and brand myself in beautiful places around Darwin. So I have to go scout more and also find out about where else I can go in Darwin to brand myself, because it's about that. And I have life coaching videos every single day now. I can do that. I can do my music. I've got some music coming up. I've got a female vocalist coming up who is a rapper, and is going to come into my track. And you have to understand that in order for yourself to become famous, you need to be interesting. You need to understand that since I have all this happening in my world, you need to also have it happening in your world. You have to keep traveling, and you have to understand that it's really give as many ideas as possible. You have to understand that my knowledge will never limit you about anything, because my knowledge is more life and how to go about it. And I give you some of my experience so you understand what you can do. And then once I do that, I then teach you what you can do. And then you understand to learn more and to grow more, because what self-education is it never limits you. I mean, most people believe there's so much in life. Although, guess what? I realize that most people will never reply to you. I realize that only the majority of life is to understand that you must be the minority of people who are lifting more than the rest of the crowd. You have to understand that you never expect people to retaliate in a way that they have to reply. I never need you to be conditional, where if I don't reply to you, that means you're not going to reply to me for 1 year. I don't care that. I don't care about that. I care that you understand that you just never expect me to call you, and you never expect anybody else to call you either, because what you do really is you schedule for somebody to call you, and you say, are you able to call me this time tomorrow? Whereas it's much faster to do that than to never ask. Whereas what you ask, you shall receive. You have to understand that in daily life, I never ask for people to do anything for me, even for free. And why? Because I can do it myself. Otherwise, I never have to ask them for anything, because I give myself the love. I rely on myself in terms of Jesus Christ. I look at Jesus Christ and I go that way. And that way I understand that in order for you to be famous, you have to be a person who's thriving. You have to understand that habits is everything when it comes to being famous. And how would I know? I know nothing. I know nothing. Although guess what? I do have some knowledge around becoming better than yesterday. And guess what? I don't know even if that's knowledge or not. I understand though that it's what I feel, and it's how I express it, and it's how I live life. And that's what I give. And you can take it or leave it. Although guess what? I promise you, if you're in this video, you're going to absorb it. And that's the whole point. I promise you, the whole point is stay a student and become more graceful and give more and love more and be all you can be and give your best and give your heart and soul, and make sure that throughout the day you're hydrated. And if it's warm and summer in your area, make sure that you have to make sure that each and every single day you're hydrated and you're always drinking water. I'm always better than the words I say. I'm always better than what I do. I'm always making sure that what I do today is going to set the stage for something greater, because I don't care about fame when I have to make sure to overcome this day now. I just have to overcome this day, and I have to overcome this day. I have to overcome this day. I promise you, this day is always going to be this day. I promise you, the next 24 hours is going to be this day too. I have to make sure that whenever I wake up, I'll be growing gradually. I'll be growing in one way or another. I'll be doing something to grow. I'm doing this to grow today, I realized that each and every single day you dedicate yourself into videos and audios and writing material, and you give some wisdom today. I promise you, it's in the giving that's going to help you to become richer and more fuller, and you're going to be smarter, and you're going to have more wisdom and coaching abilities to go around and be famous. Do you understand? Because guess what? I realize when I keep it up for the next 10 years, I promise you, eventually somebody's going to notice me. I realize that when I post 6 posts a day on Instagram, and I post 60 photos of myself for the next 100 days, I realize that's going to be 600 posts. And that is 6 times 600, which is, I realize 6, you have also 18, you have 24, you have 30, you have 36. I mean, you have 3,600 photos of me every single 100 days. I realize that in 10 years' time, I realize how many days is that? I mean, that's 3,600. I realize that's 3,650. I realize I'll do it in my calculator right now. I realize 3,650 times 6. I realize I have 21,900 photos. In 10 years' time, I'll post it on Instagram. I realize that over my lifetime, and in the next 72 years, I'll have 1.4 million photos. I mean, somebody's going to recognize me. I mean, they're going to say, this person has this many photos, I have to get to know them. Because guess what? If you don't post photos of yourself, I mean, what are you posting photos of? You must be posting photos of the wall. You must be posting photos of real estate. You must be posting photos of your car and the dog and the bird you met, who's a cockatoo or a parrot. I mean, are you more interested in that, or would you be more interested in your face? Because guess what? I'm interested in my face, and that's why when I post 1 million photos online inside my Instagram, I promise you somebody's going to notice me over time. I promise you they're going to come into my Instagram and they're going to scroll my Instagram for 50 days to see all my photos. Do you understand? Because guess what? I mean, that's inspirational. I have 50 days of scrolling to just even view my photos. You understand what that is. You also need to understand to go brand yourself, because as you see Novak Djokovic, who is the number 1 in terms of one of the best tennis players in history, you'll understand that in order to be number 1, you need to be better than yesterday. I see many number 1 people in life. I look at Jesus, Jesus is the best of the best. I realize that although you have to understand, to be the best in the world, and you have to understand to be that, you have to follow Jesus. You have to understand to look at the name. You look at the name, Jesus Christ. You have to understand, Jesus, and there's also Novak Djokovic, have a legacy. I mean, they have a name. I have Danny Milivojevic. I have a name too. You need a name. You need to understand, you never work for other people and their companies. You don't work for Commonwealth Bank, because Commonwealth Bank doesn't care about you. When I say, who cares about you is you. And nobody's going to change your underwear except you. I promise you, only you will change your underwear. So guess what? You need to be a person who understands that nobody else will do that, and that you understand that you care about yourself the most. And that way, you will love yourself the most, and you'll be something worthwhile, and you'll learn to recognize what you are is right now. You'll do something right now to understand that your face must be branded, and you must put your face on video and audio and writing every single day. And you have to keep it up. I realize that each and every single day, I have to find new ways to grow, and I have to find out how else I can grow and what else I can experience. And I get tired too. I get tired to grow. Although guess what? When I get tired to grow, I realize I grow more. I grow more because there's no excuses to never grow. I have to grow or work for somebody else. I'd rather work for myself in Jesus Christ. I'd rather work for Jesus Christ and grow than work for somebody else and die. You have to understand that if you're not growing, you're a loser. I promise you, if you're growing and you're committed to growing and dedicated to understand that the get-rich-quick scheme is in the growing and there's no shortcuts. Although you understand that there is shortcuts too, you understand that the shortcut is grow. You understand that the get-rich-quick scheme is grow and do your own content and put yourself in video and start coaching something and start doing something around your passion. Motivate people to do something. Be a motivational speaker and be something greater than yourself. The best way you can become famous today is promote yourself more and more. Although it's not enough to promote yourself. I promise you, I promoted myself so much, and guess what? After 28 years of promoting myself, I've only mustered 315 followers. Do you understand? I see other people, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk. That person's promoting themselves too, and that person gets 4 million views or followers every single year. You have to understand that the difference is that he's going in front of people more, although I'm a better communicator than him. I understand because I'm a vegan and he's not vegan. I understand I have better communication skills than him. I'm better than yesterday and he's worse than yesterday. I promise you. Although that I don't care, because I have the wisdom. I'm living a greater life even though he has the fame. I promise you that there's many people today who have fame, who are the minority of people. Whereas the minority of people, in terms of half of them, are worse than yesterday and half of them are better than yesterday. Who do you follow? You follow Jesus first, and then you follow the ones also who are better than yesterday. You have to understand, you can have more than just Jesus. You can follow everything that is Jesus. Jesus is more enough. Although you can also follow other people and human beings too who follow Jesus. I'm Richard Bell. I apologize, Danny. Realize I apologize when I hit myself. Realize that I am an individual who is doing better than yesterday. So no matter how much kids you have more than me, and I understand if you're fat and you're losing in life and you're worse than yesterday, and even though you have kids, you're still worse than me. And that means I have more success even though you have more kids than me. You have to understand, it's not about let's make more kids, unless it's about let's become better than ourselves. I promise you, it's about living a free life. And to live a free life, you have to communicate daily. You have to say something daily that's going to help you. You have to understand that what you're saying today must be value. You must be giving value all the time, because nobody else will listen to you unless you are the one following Jesus. You have to understand, to give value is to be a person of value. So understand that compound interest is in your favor when you're an individual who understands that you're a divine being who came here to understand you came from a spiritual dimension to come here so that you can give something of great quality. You have to understand, you go and do something really big today. It's going to be big time, and it's going to grow you, because that's all I focus on every single day. I don't care about the outside world matters. I don't care about other famous people. I care to grow myself today, because they're not going to grow me. I promise you, nobody's going to grow you. You have to grow yourself. I promise you, I do it one step at a time. I grow myself as much as I can every single day. I promise you, it's not difficult. I promise you, it's easy to grow. Although you have to force yourself. You have to put the effort. You have to put effort in to grow. I promise you, it's the best investment that's going to ever happen. I promise you, it's called your growth, and you have to enjoy the journey. I promise you, I turned vegan, and I have so much energy now to grow. I can push myself all day long. I have no 9 to 5. I say even better, I never have to work for money. I realize that every single day, I'm doing better than yesterday. I'm always doing better than yesterday. I'm always doing better than yesterday. I'm always doing better than yesterday. I'm making sure that whatever I do today is going to set the stage so that I do better. I realized that when you're a person who is living in the heart and you understand you're a divine being, you'll see that no matter what you're doing, your heart is going to lead you in a greater direction when you're pushing yourself to grow. You have to push yourself to read. You have to push yourself to be around better people. You have to push yourself to do content such as this. You have to do 1 hour videos. And you have to do it 3 hours a day for the next 72 years. I mean, how many videos is that? I mean, that's 9 years of content. You have to push yourself to do something. Because guess what? If you're doing nothing in your daily life, you will be given something to do. I realize that nothing is for free when you're dying. I mean, nothing's for free when you're dying. Although, when you're growing, I promise you everything's for free. Do you understand? Because guess what? Jesus is a massive grower and a massive doer. And guess what? Jesus done it for free. Do you understand? I mean, the best way to be a man or woman today is no pleasure. I mean, no gratification. I mean, no masturbation. I mean, no pornography. I mean, no drugs and alcohol. I mean, no meat. I mean, no pleasure, please. I mean, you can understand Jesus Christ. I never need you to gratify yourself. I never need you to have fun only. I never need you to be in your comfort zone. I need you to have no pleasure in life. I need you to understand what growth is. I need you to understand that growth is pain. I promise you, growth is pain. Although pain is your number one asset. And those people who grow will find a better way. Because if you're having fun and you don't like pain, and I poke you and I touch you here and you say, "He hit me," you sound like a sook. You understand? I promise you that nobody's gonna hit you. I say nobody hit me, because guess what? When you're a person like that, you understand that it's never the way to go, and you never be a sookie who makes excuses like that and never complains. Because guess what? When you're never complaining, I promise you that's the best way. You must never complain, you must never make excuses, and you must be somebody of value, because otherwise you'll be a nobody. You may be a somebody to your parents and to your friends, who are apparently your friends. I promise you although that they can never lift you. I promise you when you leave them, I promise you they'll never follow you, because they got a 9 to 5 job. I promise you when you're going alone around the world and you're traveling and you're very successful, I promise you people start dropping off really quickly and you're left alone. And it's really natural. I mean, Jesus walked alone. I mean, Jesus went into the desert for 40 nights and 40 days. I mean, who followed Jesus? I mean, nobody. You understand? You have to understand that you have to come from the heart. You have to promote Jesus. You have to promote everybody in the best way. Because to do that, you'll become the best. You never gossip about people and you never judge them about what they say. You find it from your heart to give what you can. You give your best performance. You do something that you've never done. You make sure that when you're in your heart, you can also be still. You put yourself inside, you look inside, and you enjoy the process of living. You enjoy your health, and your health is the most vibrant aspect of life, and it's the most treasure that you can have. I promise you that I was a person who had no health. I was dying. I would have died at age 45 from the habits I had. I changed it around quickly. I realized from early on, from 16 and 17 and 18 and 19, when I was diagnosed as a schizophrenic at 19, and I became a mental health disorder. I realized from that point on, I gained weight. For the next 5 years, I was gaining weight. I was gaining 130 kilos in terms of total body mass, from 67 to 113. I was overweight. I was obese class 2. I then lost the weight. I realized from 25 and 7 months, I started to improve my life really quickly. I realized that suddenly, I changed really quickly. I realized I had the knowledge in me to do so, because from the age of 22, I started to read. I never was, I'm now. I'm not a has been, I'm always now. I realize that I'm somebody famous right now. I'm famous in my heart. I although understand that fame is not the solution. I promise you that being worldwide fame is not the key either. I promise you what is the real golden nuggets is grow yourself daily, and that's going to fulfill you more than the fame. I understand when Jim Carrey says that he wishes that everybody had fame, so that everybody can understand that it's not what they think it is. I understand Jim Carrey because I understand his position in that, and I understand that most people have fame in terms of the minority of people have fame, and half of them are not growing. I mean, they have fame for a little while. I mean, they have fame for 20 years, and then suddenly they drop off. I mean, they're no longer getting movie. They're no longer getting movie opportunities, and they're no longer working as an actor. I promise you, they start changing into some other direction, and they fall off. And some are abusing drugs, and some go to prison all of a sudden, and you have to understand that some also commit suicide. I understand that I see Robin Williams, for example, who committed suicide, as he was entertaining so many people, and he didn't understand that he has to love himself more. You have to understand that you need to love yourself more, and you have to stop doing what the crowd is doing. I love Robin Williams, although I understand that he's very funny. I understand that most people will never have time for you. I understand that no woman goes for me. No woman. I'm better than yesterday, and they just don't accept me. I realize that when they don't accept me, I deserve better. I see my value. I don't know my value. I see it. I have more value than them. I don't need a woman who drags me down. I don't need other people around me. I realize that as soon as you become an entrepreneur and you start traveling the world, I promise you, you're alone. I promise you, there's no more crowd around you. And that's the excellent aspect of life, because now you realize you're alone and you're going to travel and you're going to do something big, because there's no longer a crowd around you, and there's no longer somebody to look up to in terms of the crowd. And you understand that you never have to be validated by the crowd, and you go the way of Jesus Christ, and you understand you're going to be a free agent all your life, because when you're a free agent, you're never going to sign a contract that says you must be somewhere for 5 years to make some money, because it's not about the money. I promise you, it's about being free. I never need you to sell your time for money. I never need you to have a price. I never need you to have a price on your tag. I never need you to have a price on your tag in your life. I never need somebody to buy you out. I never need you to do that anymore. I need you to understand that you be a free agent. And when somebody gives you money, I promise you it's because you are receiving it for free. I promise you it's the best way. I promise you the best way is to go the free way. I promise you it's much better to make $20 million and never have a boss than make $20 million and have to always call the person every single day to make that money. I promise you there's a difference. You understand? Because when they own you for a certain amount of time, and they say, you must come with me over here, otherwise I kick your ass and I take away all your money. I'll never take anything from you, although you understand I never kick you up the ass either. You understand that soccer players work for money. I don't care about them, although you understand I care to grow them. You understand that they have to follow the team everywhere to make money. That's a slave. I'm Richard Berger. Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi may be the best soccer players on the planet. Although when Barcelona goes to Valencia, I promise you Messi has to go Valencia, whether he likes it or not. Do you understand? I understand he loves the game. I understand. Although, if he's injured for a long period of time, I promise you, Barcelona sack him. You understand? And he doesn't make the money. I promise you it's not about the money. I promise you it's how much have you taught. I promise you there's a difference between me and Messi in life. I promise you Messi scored 1,000 goals for Barcelona. I don't care. I mean, what has it taught me in life? I promise you it taught me nothing. I promise you that his 1,000 goals never taught me anything about life. I promise you he never taught me how to shoot the ball. I promise you he never taught me how he succeeded. I promise you he never taught me anything on health. I promise you he never taught me how to build a business. I promise you he never taught me how to manage my money. I promise you he never taught me how to travel. I promise you he never taught me his life either. I'm Richard Baker. I understand, although that when you have me on the other side, I'll teach you everything. I'll teach you how to kick a ball. I'll teach you everything. Because I'm a life coach. I mean, there's a difference between an entrepreneur and somebody who's a slave. I'm not a slave. I never will be a slave. I have a business for life. I'll do this coaching stuff for free all my life and I'll make my name. I have the next 72 years to do so. I have the next 72 years to make my name. I'll make it quickly. I mean, in an instant. And within 1 year, I go up. I mean, in the next 72 years, do you believe I'll be famous? I'm famous already. I see the long-term perspective and it's a long game. I see it's a marathon and most people are, they're puffing out already. I understand Conor McGregor is the champion in UFC. I don't care about breaking people's legs. I'm not sorry either. I don't care about fighting. I don't care about wrestling. I don't care about anything that doesn't teach me anything. I don't care about action movies. I don't care about movies either. I don't care about cartoon movies. I care about life now. I care about life. I mean, life's different than the movies and the cartoons. I promise you. I care about my music production. I care about growing myself in every single aspect and speaking my heart out. Although today, I have to make sure I grow in one way or another, although I'm better in my communication than I ever was. I ask myself every single day, how much have I grown in my wisdom today? Because every day it's more and more. I realize it's doses of growth every single day. I promise you, you never stop growing. I mean, they say that the growth spurt happens until 29 and then it finishes. I mean, they say that the brain has the capacity to learn up to age 29 and then it dissipates. I promise you, they're bullshit, people. Do you understand? You have to understand that. You never stop growing. I mean, the growth spurt is always. I mean, you're always at the prime of your life. I mean, you could be at the prime of your life at 7. And then when you turn 13, you can still be at the prime of your life. And then when you turn 100, you can still be at the prime of your life. As long as you're better than yesterday and increasing your skills. And that's the only foundation and the health aspects and the driven aspects and the motivational aspects and the discipline nature you need. You just need to do better than yesterday. You need to realize that what you're saying today is going to be better than ever. You have to correlate with your information in a way that you're going to express it in a different way. I realize that when I make music, I promise you I start off with 1 beat. After 2 bars, I change it into something different. Because my music, every single bar, has to swap into something new. I always have to make sure that my music's swapping every segment. I have to make sure that my music's always different. I never need repetitive music, ever. Because to have repetitive music is boring. I need you to communicate something into that musical realm. And you should understand that the same way you do music production in terms of making music is the same way you talk for 1 hour in a different way than you have in the past. I promise you it's a different way. I promise you it's something new. You have to invest money into music. You have to invest money into knowledge. You have to invest money into yourself to grow. You have to get the ideas. You have to get the coaches. You have to get the mentors. You have to. You need mentors. You need somebody to teach you something. I teach you for free. I teach you for free. Although I understand I get some attention for that. Because that is more enough for me. Although I don't do it for me. I do it for something greater. I don't care about your attention. I care to just grow you and that's it. I never ask for your attention. I mean, what I need from life is just to help you. I just seek to help you. I don't care about the attention. I mean, that's what fame is. I mean, fame is going to help you. I mean, the actors, I mean, the good actors, I mean, there are many good actors out there. I mean, what have they taught you about life, though? I mean, what have they taught you about business and about acting, personally? I mean, since they're actors, I mean, do they have an acting university where you can go? I mean, most actors don't even have that. I mean, I see musical artists, I see musical production artists have all this beautiful music and have no music university to teach you how to make that music. I make a music university also based on how to teach you how to make music. I understand that when you make music, you need to make it in a way that you're going to record yourself along the way and you're going to teach via your laptop what you are doing. And you need to understand that every single day I upload all this content into my Mega Drive online and I let you share it for free. I mean, it's my whole life in one chip. I mean, you got my About Me section and you got my music university and my self-education university. And I just continue my work all my life. I don't care what's happening around the world. I care about what's happening with Jesus today. I care about something greater. I care about helping you to succeed because you deserve it. You deserve success. I deserve success. I deserve to help you so I can grow. I need to grow every single day to make sure that what I'm doing today is going to increase my wisdom one way or another. I have to make sure that I'm planning ahead of time. Who will I see ahead of time? And how long will I see them for? And just recently I said that all my family members in the future, I'll send them up to 2 weeks and that's it. I don't care. I care. I have something greater to do than them. I never go doing other people. I go doing I do what I need. I talked to some people of the past and guess what? I realized that they're all disappointing. I'm not expecting from them anything. Although I understand that they can never fulfill me. I mean, what happened in life is going to be the past. You let go of it, you move on. I mean, life goes on and just make sure that your life is the best it can be. You need to have the best version of yourself every day. That's the best way. The best way is understand to help somebody today and make some content. I mean, speak out your heart and mind and mindset and understand that your mindset is your heart and it's the soul of your habits and what your habits are and what your schedule is, and teach people how are you transitioning from one area of life to another. And when I say that, you're really teaching people how are you growing in each and every step of the way. You're showing people your experience every single day. You're showing them each and every second. You're showing them every single second of your life with a documentary, one way or another. You're filming yourself doing something. You just film yourself and you upload it. You film yourself and you upload it. You film yourself and you upload it. You teach people anything. You go be a comedian. You go be a person. You go be a persona about anything. You just go enjoy your life. You enjoy yourself. You enjoy yourself in a way you're growing. You have to understand that what's important today is what you make of it. You be someone who's making something better. You make something that's going to help you to live in the moment. You're living in the moment, I promise you that you'll overcome all your demons. You live in this moment. You live in the reality. You have to understand that fame is all about inspirational people. I never care about your fame when you're a negative person who doesn't inspire me. I never care about your fame because I see the people who follow you are criminals. I mean, today, you have to understand that what's inspiring is making sure that what you're doing today is going to grow you the most, because I promise you, attention doesn't matter unless you're growing. I promise you, attention will never fulfill you, and fame will never fulfill you unless you're going the Jesus route and unless you're growing. I see people who are famous and they sell their whole life into drugs. And they invest the $500 million into wine. I mean, who does that? You have to understand. You need to be a person who understands that when you're doing something, you can also say it. Because I see Johnny Depp, for example, who's this beautiful actor, although I understand he has many alcohol problems. I understand that is never the way to go, because alcohol never satisfies you. I understand Jean-Claude Van Damme, who is one of my action heroes from way back in the days. Although I understand that today he is really absorbed in drugs. Although I understand that he may be improving today. I also understand that his career went downhill because of drugs. I realize that is never the way to go. I realize that the best persona that you can give is the best attitude, and that is everything. I promise you, as Dr. Wayne Dyer says, I promise you, the attitude is all you're selling. You're just selling the persona of yourself all your life. You're selling yourself to be the best you can be. You're teaching others along the way how to do so. I promise you, that's the best job in the world. I promise you, it's not enough to be just a music producer. I promise you, there are many music producers out there who make music and nothing else. I mean, they're fat too. I mean, I don't care about your money when you're fat. You may die at 50. I mean, when you lose some weight, you may live up to 70. I mean, that's the kind of difference you can make. I mean, you have 20 years extra life. You have 20 years more happiness. I quit smoking. I quit the drugs. I quit caffeine. I quit cocoa powder. I quit the meat. I quit ecstasy and weed and cocaine. I quit the crowd. I quit being around my biological father in person. I realized I can see him for up to 2 weeks and that's it. I have to make sure that what I do today is going to be self-absorbed. I have to be self-absorbed in a way that I'm growing and inspiring people to love me. In a way I understand that what I do today is the best version of myself. I do the best version of myself always. I realize I'm always doing something that's going to help me to move forward, and I understand I move forward anyway. I move forward in a way that's going to really increase my vitality, which is my strength, and which is my core aspect of who I am. I never work on my weaknesses. I work on my strengths. I mean, my strength is delayed gratification. I mean, my strength is positivity. I work on my strengths. Do you understand? I never work on negativity, which is my weakness. I never work on pleasure activities because that's my weakness. I never work there. Because when you work on pleasure activities, you'll be doing that. I mean, when you're working inside negative realms, which are your weaknesses, you'll be doing negative realms. I stay away from that. I go and focus on my strengths. I just go and do that all my life. I go teach people how I live my life. I promise you that eventually down the road, it's worth it. Because what happens is eventually you build up all this knowledge and you start becoming better than yesterday and you start doing more and more, and you'll be always better and better. You have to find the strength within you to understand to go and forget pleasure activities. You don't need it. It never helps you. You have to overcome the mind. Every single day you have to grow and grow and grow, and you have to give and give and give from the heart. You have to give from your soul. You have to give from who you are. You have to understand that pleasure will never help you. I promise you that. Every time you do pleasure activities, I promise you just waste your time. I promise you your time is valuable. You have to understand that time is a commodity, and when you increase time, you also increase your life and happiness. So look for any way to do that. I promise you it's true that when you're having more sex in life, you're dying. I promise you every time you have sex, you're dying. I mean, you're in your comfort zone and you're not growing. I promise you that's what sex is. I promise you sex is only used in a way that you have a kid with another person, and that's it. I promise you it's not used to have fun with other people all the time. I promise you it's not used for just fun with our kids. I promise you that you can have so much sex in the world and you'll never be satisfied because you're not growing in that aspect of making love. I promise you making love is called giving knowledge and teaching people something. You're teaching people how to live a life. I promise you that making love means increasing your wisdom. I promise you making love means going to travel and seeing more of the world. I promise you that making love has nothing to do with sex with other people. I promise you Jesus made the most love in life. I promise you Jesus lived a lifestyle far better than anybody else. And even in his time. Because Jesus understands that what everything is inside the feelings, and it's inside your body, and it's about having the vibrance and the energy. I mean, it means living a long lifestyle and being spiritual in a way. You're living in the moment and you're understanding to teach people on a daily basis something of God nature and how to be the best version of yourself. It's the best teachings in the world. I promise you, music also, while you're standing and just listening to music, I promise you it's not growing you. I promise you, although, that when you're growing in music and you're learning to make music, I promise you it's powerful when you make your own music and then you write also, or you're listening to your own music and you're growing in the moments where you may be writing, although just listening to music doesn't grow you. I promise you, music is a comfort zone. You have to understand that it's really the music that you need is to grow, to put yourself in discomfort, because that's the only foundation of living life. I promise you, when you're a DJ and you're just pumping music on the stage, you're just having fun. You're just having fun. I mean, it's not about having fun. I mean, it's about opening up yourself to do greater in areas of communication, because that's what fame is. I promise you, fame is something that's going to grow you. I promise you, you just need to grow daily. And you forget about the fame until you grow. You have to grow into the fame. You have to grow into it. To grow into everything. As Zig Ziglar says, you have to grow into a millionaire. You have to grow into a billionaire. You have to grow into fame and kids and fortune and traveling the outside world and everything. I mean, you have to travel. Although you travel inside, you don't travel outside. You travel everywhere by growing yourself. I need you to understand it's not about the fun. I need you to understand it's not about the pleasure. I promise you, pleasure keeps you down. And pleasure always overrides you with your ego. I promise you, what's important is inside, and looking inside and never looking to pleasures to satisfy you. You have to understand to keep doing your content, and if you do fall, you just realize you get back on your horse and you realize you start growing again. I promise you, the more you grow, I promise you, the more you will overcome the ego. I promise you, the ego, which is your mindset, needs the pleasure. Although your mindset must be your heart, and you must go into the heart more than the mindset. And when you're into the heart, you'll be giving more knowledge. You'll be giving more to grow. And that's the whole point of life. I promise you, if you don't know how to grow, you'll be a person who is doing pleasure activities more and more. And you'll be a junkie, you'll be a drug addict. Because that's what drug addicts are doing today. Because they don't know how to grow themselves. And people who don't know how to grow themselves, I promise you that people who don't know how to grow themselves are junkies, and they're people who are drug addicts and people who have a poor image. I promise you that people who have a sexy looking image and are growing and are teaching and are doing something around the inside world and around Jesus and are integrity, I promise you they're the ones you need to listen to more and more. I promise you they're the ones who've got some courses to give you and to help you. You need to watch out for your time also. You have to understand your time is valuable. So make sure you go give it to yourself more than other people. I mean, when 50 million people are saying, you must call me, I mean, you have to block them out. You have to understand that you just stay away from them. You say, you got my calls, you got my 1 hour calls every single day. I do 3 hours of video. You don't need to talk to them. You don't need to talk to them. You don't need to message those people. You don't need to talk to anybody online anymore. You don't need to. You don't need them. You don't need to talk to anybody else outside of you anymore. You don't need them. You just go and give your money to somebody who you need to talk to, and that's it. You make it a habit in your life to only talk to the people who you give money to. You talk to your biological family if you're good with them, and that's it, because they helped you. I mean, talk to the people who love you and who you give money to, and that's it. I mean, the people that love you is your family members and the people you give money to, and that's it. Because guess what? I realize that the people you give money to are just a business. You go where business is. You go and enjoy life. You need to grow daily, and you need to be in the discomfort of life, because guess what? It's really in the growing. And when you're growing, you'll understand you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep giving people content, and you're going to keep driving them with information. And that way you're going to inspire somebody through one idea, and that one idea is going to help them to grow, and that one idea is going to change many people's lives. I promise you, that's all it's about. I promise you, my mega drive is one idea. I promise you that Jesus' lifestyle is just one word. I promise you, the word is God, and that's it. You need to be powerful. You need to be something big. I'll see you guys in the next video.